Shit.
Crazy, man.
Just live life to the fullest, man. That's what we gotta do.
Facts, facts.
Rest in peace, Coolio.
Yes, rest in peace.
Jesus Christ.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, we gotta talk about Gangsta's Paradise one day.
For sure. I mean, we was planning on doing that anyway. So
Yeah,
fuck all these, culture vultures and all these people now want to show love. We did that already for Coolio. Don't forget where you saw it first at.
right.
I mean,
I
that's
still,
what we do. We always ahead of the curve. We don't fucking wait till somebody died to give them their flowers like other podcasts and shit.
that's one thing I loved about that. It Takes a Thief review. I love that review we did.
Right. Yeah, because I was just like, yo, how come nobody talk about Coolio when it comes to West Coast legends? He is a West Coast legend. He never worked with Dre for a hit single. You know what I'm
True.
saying? Everybody was running to Dre. Coolio said, nah, I'm doing it on my own. I ain't running to Dre.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And he has two classic albums and nobody mentions him. They mention fucking Game and Kendrick and fuck all them. You know?
Hmm.
Crazy. Losing our legends. This is what I'm talking about. We gotta salute our legends when they breathing. Don't wait till they drop dead to start posting up their shit. You know?
That's what motherfuckers do.
Crazy, man. Oh man. Man. Mike was good. That was a dope ass review we did last night.
I agree.
I was tired as fuck, yo.
Yeah, man. I was like, yeah, I gotta get to work and shit. Like, I was sleeping all throughout the whole fucking day, man. It's not even funny.
Right.
Thank God I can sleep in a little bit tomorrow. Keyword a little bit.
It's crazy.
Same. I heard the third album from Coolio. I saw. I'm not gonna hold you out. It was okay. It was a bit too poppy for me, but it did have one of my favorite Coolio songs, "See You When I Get There." So,
I remember that.
and it's crazy too because I was just rewatching. Lately, I've been rewatching the Gangsta's Paradise Billboard Awards performance with Stevie Wonder.
Right.
That's my shit.
Yes. Putting this shit on my story right now. Legends. Nothing but legends dying right now, man.
Yeah.
crazy. Coolio doesn't get mentioned. We only praise fucking Game and his mediocre discography. Nobody talks about Coolio and the shit that he did. You know?
Coolio made white people listen to gangster rap and shit.
Right, right. At a time when it was all about the West Coast and Bad Boy and Death Row and you know what I'm saying? Coolio, like Dangerous. Um, that movie. What's the name of that shit again?
Dangerous Minds.
Dangerous Minds. I remember watching it and not liking that film.
I didn't like it. I didn't like
The
it either.
soundtrack was the best shit about that film. I think Michelle Pfeiffer was the wrong cast for that. I don't think she was the right one for that movie. And it's like I've seen films like that already. You know what I'm saying? And Lean on Me was better. That was a way better film. And the movie, people remember the movie because of the song. And it was a great song. It was classic, and having LV sing on the chorus, and I remember the Grammy performance he did with Stevie Wonder. That was great.
I love that shit.
One of the best performances at the Grammys. Game can't say that shit. Y'all praise Game like he great. You know what I'm saying? We niggas praise Game like he got like a flawless discography and shit. Coolio better. Where's the respect for him? Nobody mentions his name. I hear Kendrick, I hear Game. I never hear nobody mention Coolio when it comes to West Coast hip hop. Now all these fake motherfuckers wanna post up his shit, posting up his albums and shit like they were bumping him before. Y'all wasn't bumping him Coolio before then. Like, stop it. Don't wait till the nigga drop dead to start praising him.
These niggas thought he was whack and shit.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like we already did it. We did it because it was like, yo, I felt like Coolio don't get the respect that we deserve. And I said, yo, we gotta discuss Coolio's first album. And we did it. We ain't wait till the nigga drop dead to do it. Remember that shit. When you start seeing all these other fake ass podcasts, they're gonna start talking about Coolio in the upcoming days and weeks. Remember who did it first.
Exactly. Just remember that shit, boy.
Insane.
Money, anything.
It can't be all about Tupac all day.
I'm gonna start in about 5 minutes and shit.
Yeah. And that's what we do. We show love while the artist is breathing and still alive. We don't wait till they drop dead to do that. You know?
Is it bad that I feel like there was more to his death than a heart attack?
I think so. I was just telling a friend of mine that I'm like, yo, like it was cardiac arrest, but I'm like, we know the drug problems Coolio had.
Yeah, he had a lot of drug.
I remember like reading the Source magazines that he was in, and when he first came out with It Takes a Thief, and he was telling about his life and how he struggled in poverty and he was on PCP. We knew about that back in the 90s. We knew about that. That's nothing new. So I mean, it's sad to say, but I wouldn't be surprised if the report comes back and we find out that he was on drugs.
Exactly, and I hate to say that shit too, but still. I know he recently got in trouble too over some bullshit. I don't. Oh man, I was surprised he was 59. I was like, damn.
Yeah. We not black people. We're not seeing our golden years, man.
And this is why people like academics. This is why we have to respect the hip hop elements and shit like that.
Exactly.
You know, so that's why motherfuckers got mad at academics when they got mad at him and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Because he's an idiot.
Hmm?
You know,
Well, that too, but still.
you think Mulatto and Little Yachty gonna be around in 10 years? They're gonna be strung out on drugs or dead. They already lose. These kids already losing. They artists. YMB got murdered. Set up. Just trying to have some food at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. So you know what I mean. You
And
know
then the
what's
baby.
the other dude on Pop Smoke dead. They losing their artists. That's the one thing that they can relate to when it comes to our generation because they losing their artists younger. You know, can't pay attention. The academics got way too much attention anyway, man. Like, what does he do? Does he DJ? I never seen this nigga spin a record ever.
Motherfuckers using them DJs.
You know what I mean?
That's
DJ Khaled don't only spins on records. I never seen him spin a record ever. How was he a DJ? They putting way too much attention on these niggas they don't do nothing for this culture. They a bunch of trolls, a bunch of culture ass vultures, and I don't got time for all that.
I agree.
You know, that was just his way of getting more attention to himself. Oh, let me talk shit about the legends of the game, the real legends. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because you feel like they dusty and they're not relevant. You can have all the money in the world and be hated on.
That's why I'm glad LL
Look
got
at,
his
look
ass.
at Drake. Drake got money. We hated on. He not a lot. The real hip hop heads don't fuck with Drake like that. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
don't got, you don't have that universal respect from hip hop heads. You never did. So they niggas can't equate money to like, oh well, I'm at the top of Mount Rushmore because I got all the money. It don't mean shit.
And the reason why the motherfuckers got all the money is either because they sell their publishing or they do shit against their integrity just to get the
Exactly.
money. Let's talk about that shit.
Exactly. MC Hammer was a multi-selling artist. He had money, and he still never had that respect from the hip hop community. Money don't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? Some of the brokest artists that you know got that respect from the community forever because of what they did, their contribution to this culture. These kids got it fucked up.
Hmm. I'm about to start in about 2 more minutes. Like you look at the fucking baby. They say he's going through his worst selves right now and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
And they're gonna fade out. A lot of these artists from this generation they're not built to for longevity. They're gonna fade out. And then when these motherfuckers fade out, who y'all gonna listen to? Little Wayne ain't dropping projects like he used to. And at some point, Drake is gonna be like, "Yo, let me take my light skin ass to Hollywood and act again." Who y'all gonna listen to? You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be their dilemma. I know who I'm gonna listen to, but if you wasn't raised on bars and lyricism, like the mumble rap fans, they're gonna be asked out.
Right.
Y'all might have to switch genres and start listening to Taylor Swift or some shit. It's easy for me. I can pick any dope artist. Black Thought still dropping classics. Rome Streets about dropping a new album with Griselda. You know what I'm saying? Pusha T had one of the best albums of the year. It's gonna be very easy for me to listen to artists.
Hell, Joey Badass.
Joey
Too late.
Badass, exactly.
That
Dope ass album from him. Joey never drop a bad project. He all his shit is fire.
fact.
You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be very hard for these young motherfuckers to pick an artist to listen to when their favorite artist is down and out and they struggling.
Yeah, they'll learn sooner or later.
You know.
But I'm ready to start whenever you are.
Let's go.
What's up, YouTube?
I got the
Welcome.
album.
Oh, you got the album? Okay.
Yes.
What's up, YouTube? How's everyone doing this lovely day? This is your boy Reg in the building. I got my homeboy Trout with me.
What up?
And today we are going to talk about Jermaine Dupri's Life in 1472. This album came out on So Def under Columbia under Sony on July 21st, 1998. It came out with 3 singles: The Party Continues, Money Ain't a Thing, and Sweetheart. Producers include Dupri, D Dot, Charlemagne, not the Charlemagne you're thinking of, the producer. Coptic, Call Solo, DJ Quick, Slick Rick, Primo, Mariah Carey, and Kanye West. Yes, Kanye did some shit on here too.
Early Kanye.
Early Kanye.
Yes.
Um, Guest appearances include Nas, Jay Z, Mad Rapper, DMX, Slick Rick, Mariah Carey, 8 Ball, Too Short, Mr. Black, and the Youngbloods,
A
The
lot of them
Brat,
on this album.
Crazy Bro, Keith Sweat, RC, Mace, Lil Kim, Usher, Latasha Scott, Snoop Dogg, Warren G, Trina and Tamara, and I think that's it. Yeah. All right. So I've talked about Jermaine Dupri on this channel before, but we never actually talked about his albums. So I want to ask, how did you get into Jermaine Dupri?
As the producer.
Just in general. Just in general.
That was see, I was always a fan of Houdini. Like growing up in the '80s, and Houdini was one of my favorite groups at that time. I don't remember JD as a dancer for them. 'Cause I know he danced for them, and it's not like later on, like when they show like old clips of Houdini at concerts and stuff, and I saw like little JD with them. But back when they were dropping like Big Mouth and 5 Minutes of Funk, I don't remember seeing them in none of those videos. But that was like how I first heard about him. Like he was a dancer for Houdini, and then like his father, was Michael Malden or whatever. He
Yeah.
was he was like the head of Columbia or something at that time, and JD was like born into the industry. You know what I'm saying, and being around his father and so many different stars, and then him like becoming a dancer for Houdini, and then a producer, and like production wise, my first introduction to him was Crisscross, because I was a huge Crisscross fan. They have we had the same first name. You know what I'm saying? I had braids like Crisscross, back then, and they were huge. Once Jump came out, was like the biggest song of '92, and they sold out arenas, went multi-platinum. They were the only rap group to be on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous with Robin Leach, rest in peace, Robin Leach. You know what I'm saying? So they blew up, and even though they were from Atlanta, and they went mainstream, but a lot of people felt like they didn't represent Atlanta the way that Outkast and Dungeon Family did it at later on when they came out. And you know his vision of like just being at the mall and finding two kids with swag, even for '92, and putting them in the studio, and they couldn't rap, but he was like, yo, I'm gonna make y'all rich and famous, and that's just what he did, because that was just the type of drive that he had, and seeing them blow up all over, you know what I'm saying, and then then TLC comes out, and he did some stuff with them, and they blew up, and starting Social Death, and then having his own artist Escape, and the Brat, and Jagged Edge, Bow Wow, and every one of them blew up because of JD's vision and his sound, and he just had a different sound, and I felt like it was an appealing sound that he was on the beat machines. You know what I'm saying? A real producer, not people that claim that they're producers and they have to go hire 12 people to produce them and then they take all the credits. JD was in the studio making beats on those beat machines. Writing songs for different artists. You know what I'm saying? And his sound was just appealing to everybody. Like it was, we didn't look at it like, oh well, this is a producer from down south and he has a down south bounce. He just had a dope ass sound that you could put any artist on it, whether they singing or they rapping, and they gonna kill it. Whether it was Fabulous, whether it was a Tony Braxton or a Biggie or the Brat, whoever it was, he just had that sound. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I feel like JD was like he was like one of the students from that Teddy Riley era. You know what I'm saying? Like when Teddy Riley was made New Jack Swing, and he was successful with a lot of artists that he produced. And you had JD coming up right after him, you know what I'm saying, as well as the Neptunes, and they were students of Teddy Riley. You know what I'm saying? And for them to like be able to cross over into different genres and not just stay in rap and R&B and be successful outside of that, and have like a bigger, broader fan base. He was always like, for me, one of the best in the game. You know what I'm saying? And especially when it came to his songwriting, like make giving making really Usher the superstar that he is. Before, like, Usher first album was dope, but once Usher hooked up with JD, he became a superstar. You know what I'm saying? Mariah Carey was already a huge pop star, but she didn't have that street cred from a lot of black people until she hooked up with JD. You know what I'm saying? Like we all knew Visions of Love, we knew Emotions, Make It Happen, Dream Lover, but she was a pop artist. And once she broke up, once she had the divorce with Tommy Mottola, she hooked up with JD. JD gave her those street joints that they actually played on Hot 97. You know what I'm saying? When you listen to Always Be My Baby, and it's like that, and Shake It Off, and you know what I'm saying? We Belong Together. That's when black radio embraced her, because of JD. You know what I'm saying? And you know, he's made a lot of stars, a lot of artists, huge stars, and he's managed to always, no matter what decade it was, he managed to always transition into that decade, flawlessly. And he's just a pioneer. You know what I'm saying? He was a pioneer for R&B. He was a pioneer for hip hop. And there's no album that JD didn't contribute on that I never listened to. I've listened to him all his career. You know what I'm saying? Like from Crisscross all the way to now, and he's still dropping heat. He just did the Ari Lennox joint, the pressure joint
Yeah,
that we talked about on Ari Lennox new album. It's a vintage JD right there. You know what I'm saying? That took me back to like the '90s when I would hear JD remix on the radio, or a JD joint from like Mariah or Usher or something. You know what I mean? So he's still killing the game, and you know um you know, I was skeptical when this album came out. And I'm like, JD's rapping, and he wasn't really known for that. Like, he would drop a verse here and there, and I think like he started rapping more when the Brat came out. When the Brat came out, and he started doing more collabs. Like the Drew Hill remix for "In My Bed." That's a classic remix. Him and the Brat. I always felt like they had great chemistry together, and I think that's when he got out of his comfort zone, and started to get on the mic more. You know what I'm saying? And as a artist, and I think the Brat gave him that confidence. Like, yo, if you could do a joint with me, do a whole joint on your own. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be there to support you. And she's always supported him. And when this album came out, it was fire. I remember going to the record store with my cousin. I had like some cousins that would come in from Florida every summer, and we went to the mall. We hung out, bought some stuff, and he bought the album, and we get back to my crib, and then we're playing. This is like what, 97, 98. We playing PlayStation, and we're bumping the album. I'm like, yo, this album is fire. He had like all type of artists. It wasn't about East Coast, West Coast, none of that bullshit. He had artists from both East, West, and the South, the Midwest on this album, and it was just bang after bang. I'm like, yo, this this is like one of the best albums that I've heard, for that year. And that just goes all into like JD being a mastermind at what he does, and a perfectionist, and whether it's him being on the mic or behind the production board. And he always had a good ear for music, and even if he used a sample, he always had a good ear for sampling. And he's from our era. Like, he learned from the best. Being around Houdini back in the '80s, and even signing Houdini later on in the '90s. They dropped the album on So Def, and he's definitely a pioneer to this game, and he's definitely a legend to me. And I give him all the credit, because he's a real, like I said, he's a real songwriter. He's a real producer, and he knows how to actually take care of his artists. I never heard not one rumor of JD stealing from his artists. You didn't hear that about the Brat or Escape or Jagged Edge. They didn't leave his label over money issues. You know what I'm saying? Unlike other people. You know what I'm saying? But you know, um, he's definitely a legend. Like, he's right up there for me, high on the list when it comes to producers and artists all the time. So
Yeah, definitely. To me, I got into Jermaine Dupri maybe during like, I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I think the first time I heard Jermaine Dupri was during the mid 2000s when he was doing a lot of that, them franchise boys. Who I think they like me.
yes.
When he was doing Bow Wow and
Yeah,
stuff
shout
like
out
that.
to them. Shout out to that Jizzle, because I had did an interview with him from the Franchise Boys a couple months ago.
Oh wow.
It's on IG Live, but yeah, he was good people. He still hit me up. He's like, yo, send me an email. I gotta send you some stuff. So
Okay, shout out to him and shit,
yeah,
definitely. And if you guys have watched this channel probably since I started this, you guys will know I've never really gave Jermaine Dupri his just due because I've never really been the biggest Jermaine Dupri fan like that.
right,
I mean, when it comes to like, but it's kind of weird though because when it comes to like the hip hop side of things, it can be depending on the artist. Depending on the artist, you know what I'm saying? I fuck with, but then R&B side of things, he definitely was stellar more on the R&B side of things than the hip hop side of things, in my personal opinion. Because I just felt like with him working with like Usher and Mariah Carey, you know what I'm saying? Like he was definitely on his A game, but at the same time, he also did Janet's later albums too
right,
and stuff like that, which other kind of tore me off from Dupree and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
but over the years, I'm not gonna hold you. I kind of softened up towards him and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I do agree with what you said. How despite other people who called themselves a producer and shit like that, he was actually on the boards
yeah,
and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? I definitely respect more of his work now than I did years ago. He's still not really. I don't put him in the same pedestal as Pete Rock, Prince Paul, Primo. He's not up there, but at the same time, as far as visionaries go, he's definitely one of the best in my personal opinion and whatnot too. So, with that being said, I can find something to appreciate about Jermaine Dupri and stuff like that too.
and
So,
and you know who he discovered, right? Little John. Little
yeah,
John was his intern, and he broke out in his own and became a huge artist. And like, this is what I mean, is like JD will find talent, and they blossom into their own, and there's never like it's nobody, like shit talking about him in interviews or anything. Like everybody respects him, and he's definitely a hip hop head. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knows his music, and he contributed so much to this game. And I'm like, we don't celebrate JD enough, but we celebrate Diddy. And for what? Because what, he sold 400 and something million. So what? You know what I'm saying? But look at all the drama he had with his label, with all the different artists. You want to do a versus with JD? It's gonna be hard for Diddy to get on the stage with those former artists of yours, because they can't stand your guts. 112 don't like you. Carl Thomas don't fuck with him. Faith Evans wanted out. You know what I'm saying? And he had, people that's dead. But you want to battle JD? You're not on JD level to me.
or in jail too.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't hear not one. That JD been in the game for decades. I didn't hear not one interview with an artist saying that yo they don't fuck with him. Not one. You feel me? So it's
And,
like this is a real producer compared to a businessman that hired producers for him. That's the
and,
difference.
and even
That's
the So Different Union, almost all those artists showed up. Even Chris
exactly
Carter had that last performance before one of the members died and shit too.
right. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? They still tight with him. Brett is still tight with him to this day. You know what I'm saying?
As much shit as we give Bow Wow, he's still tied with Jermaine Dupri.
Exactly. Bow Wow still cool with him. You know what I mean? They don't look at him as, oh, you're just my boss or whatever. That's a real friend. How many artists on that used to be in Bad Boy can say that Puff Daddy's a real friend of them other than Mary? And she wasn't even on Bad Boy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Because him and Shine, they got more cool in recent years and shit too.
Shine needed to bust his ass. Like Shine, he definitely must have found the Lord when he was in prison because that you couldn't have did that shit to me and I'm gonna be cool with you after. Nah, you would have gotten your ass beat.
Hell, look at Mace. That's
Bro,
nuts.
yeah, Mace want to bust his ass. Mace want to bust his ass. Mace don't fuck with him. You know. And
Shit.
and the thing is, the crazy thing is, Mace had his super group signed to So Def because Puffy, for whatever reason, didn't sign them. You remember that Harlem World was signed on So Def. They wasn't on Bad Boy.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that I'm like, I think Mace would have done better on So Def because him and JD still would have been tight to this day.
I think Mace would have done better on G Unit thinking about that shit if he would have went back to his style.
Yeah, that could have happened too. But Diddy being Diddy in his ways, he didn't want to let Mace go.
Right. But yeah, man. Definitely let's talk about this Jermaine Dupri. For those who don't know who Jermaine Dupri is, he is an rapper, producer, business mogul. He was born in Asheville, North Carolina, which not too far from where I'm at, honestly. So yeah, man. But then he relocated to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? His father was a talent manager, and he was working with like a lot of artists, especially Diana Ross, from what I looked up. So he got Jermaine Dupri, like his like first hand in the music business, and he started off as a dancer for Houdini and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Very dope hip hop group. Rest in peace to Ecstasy, by the way, too.
Yes.
Um, so he was dancing, and then fast forward to like the early '90s and stuff like that. He started forming his own studio and stuff like that too. So he started producing his first act, which was a female hip hop trio named Silk Times Leather. But his real claim to fame was when he discovered this young rap duo by the name of Chris Cross. Chris Kelly and Chris Smith. Rest in peace to Chris Kelly.
Yes.
Chris Kelly was one that
Yes.
he was one
Chris
that
Kelly, Mac Daddy.
yeah. So rest in peace to him. By the way, yeah, you guys should know I'm not the biggest Chris Cross fan, but I do respect like them for that being kid rappers and stuff like that too. They dropped 3 albums. The first album was I'm Totally Crossed Out, which that was alright. It was pretty straight. You know what I'm saying. I mean, I don't dislike. It's not like my cup of tea, if that makes sense. But I don't dislike it.
Mm-hmm.
Now the next album, um, The Bomb. Yeah, y'all can have that. I didn't care too much for that one. And
No, classic, a classic.
I don't know about all that, but okay. All right. Then the third and final album, Young, Rich, and Dangerous. This is the one I like. I like Young, Rich, and
Yes, that was a great
Dangerous.
one too.
That to me was their best album. But
Chris Cross got a stronger discography than a lot of motherfuckers out now. That's a damn shame.
and you know what? You're not lying. You're not lying and shit. You're not. Even though I don't really care for The Bomb too much. I know many people do like that fucking album and stuff
I
like that
love
too.
it. That,
And
that was like that. The Bomb and Black Sunday were my two favorite albums of '93. Like summer '93, that's all I was playing. It was Cypress Hill, Criss Cross, Cypress Hill, Criss Cross, and they were both like on Rough House. So it's
right,
ironic.
right. Rough House was killing it at that
Yeah,
time.
they were killing it.
Yeah, man. And so also in 1993 was also like a very important year because he had pretty much also discovered two of his most important artists. One, Escape, which we've already talked about all the albums, so I'm not even going to spend too much
Yeah,
time. How Many Coming at You, love that album.
classic.
This the '95 joint, you know what I'm saying?
Off the hook,
Off the Hook, I brain fart for a minute, which to me that's my favorite album. And then
classic.
Traces of My Lipstick,
Yeah.
which that album was cool. I don't dislike that album, but
Mm,
it was a bit too they were a bit too ballad heavy on that album and shit too.
okay.
And so he also discovered the Brat because the story with that Chris Cross had like some kind of contest or whatever, and the Brat won that contest, and so they invited her to rap on the Bomb album and
He
whatnot
killed
too.
it.
Which that's probably some of the best shit on the
Yes.
Bomb albums when the Brat was on it. Honestly,
She killed that track, definitely.
yes, yes. And so fast forward to 1994, that's when the Funkdified album came out and shit like that. Which that to me is her best
Yes,
album, her only best album because
definitely.
I didn't care too much for the second one
Hmm.
and stuff like that. Damn it, well, the second one had that long ass title.
Another tantrum.
Another tension, yeah.
Yeah,
It was alright. It was
yeah.
alright.
It had some joints, but it wasn't like the first album.
Right. So yeah, man. So then, Social Dev had a distribution partnership with Columbia Records, which got him more advantages, and
Yeah.
some of those more advantages includes him work with Mariah Carey, because you know Mariah Carey was also on Columbia and stuff like that too. So
Right.
Always Be My Baby, that was
Yeah.
like the first song that he's done and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? He also did other shit from other people too. Like he did the original version of Lil Kim's Not Tonight, which my opinion, I like that version way more than the
Yes.
Ladies
Same.
Night version.
In the remix,
I
yeah.
hate I like the Ladies Night version, but I mean it's a bit too overplayed.
It was cool, but I never felt like Angie Martinez could rap. And I think she only got that co-sign from Jay, and then everybody ran with it. But I'm like, she can't rap. Come on
Yeah.
now.
She's sexy as fuck though, but nah.
She was. She was at one point. She look old as shit now, but I'm like, nah. I prefer the original version for that.
Yeah. Um yeah, man. He also did like a couple of other songs like MC Lights, Keep On Keeping On, which can never stand that song either.
Classic. I love. You don't like that song?
I never liked that album.
Wow.
Never.
But that was also on the Sunset Park soundtrack. It was on
Mm,
that too.
Sunset Park. I never liked that movie
Yeah,
either.
yeah, the movie was like I love the soundtrack more.
Yeah.
You know,
Fucking Carla as a coach,
right?
Terrence Howard and
Fredro Starr.
oh my god.
Yeah,
I like Fredro Starr as an actor sometimes, but
yeah.
other
He did a
times
lot of crap. Him and Sticky Fingers. They did a
he
lot
did
of
they did a
lot of
lot of
lot of crap. A lot of movies that went to Tubi and straight to
yeah.
DVD.
Man, you ain't nothing but a bitch ass nigga. Stop. Fucking strap, man. Oh my god.
Oh, man. His best role,
Nah, his best role to me was Moesha.
Moesha.
Yeah, Moesha was his best role. I
Yeah.
liked him on Q. But that's besides the point. So, but then like another one of his best known work when he also worked with Usher
Mm-hmm.
during the My Way album and stuff
Yes,
like that.
celebrated. Yes, 25 years. I just saw the documentary on YouTube.
I still need to watch that
Yeah,
documentary.
they talked about the different tracks and him first working with JD and staying with JD in Atlanta and all that. And a classic album. That's my favorite Usher album.
Yeah, man, I love My Way. I think My Way might be my third favorite Usher album, honestly. Yeah, man. But other than that, let's 98, 97, 98, he was still doing his thing, but then he also wanted to like do his own shit, you know what I'm saying? He wanted
Right.
to get back with the music shit, and that's when he started working with the Life in 1472 album, which the reason why he named his Life in 1472, um pretty much the J, he said like the J is like the 10th letter of the alphabet, and the D is like the 14th letter of the alphabet. You know what I'm saying? The fourth letter of the alphabet. You know what I'm saying? And then the 72 part was from the birth year. 1972.
But Was there supposed to be a movie for this album? Because it says the original soundtrack.
I don't. I was trying to look up information about that. I don't think it was supposed to be a movie. I
Okay.
feel like with artists, they would like to treat some of the albums like movies and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Timberland did that with the Life in the Basement. But he named that a soundtrack also.
Yeah, yeah. It was like a weird. It was like that 2000s Y2K
Right.
kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think it was supposed to have been a movie.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, man, this was the album right here. Pretty simple album cover, just the whole blue thingamajig and stuff like that too. Of course, I don't have the album, so I got the album and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. It plays out like the booklet even is like a movie too and shit.
mm,
You know, crazy. Man.
yeah, man. I definitely need to get my hands on this album and shit too. I don't know why. Actually I know why, because I'm not really the biggest Jermaine Dupri fan, but I've always liked this album. Compared to other stuff that he's done and stuff like that too. But you know what? I'm ready to talk about this shit. So this album has about 14 tracks.
Yeah.
Let's get this shit started. Track number 1 is like the intro. Turn It Out. That's his first track. So from what I looked up, this is actually the first song that Kanye actually produced solo wise
Oh
and stuff
shit.
like that too. It led to him like meeting, people like Columbia Records and stuff like that. And they said that, Kanye said that he was gonna be a bigger artist than Jermaine Dupri and stuff like that too. Because he said this shit to Michael Modlin, which was of course Jermaine Dupri's dad and stuff like that too. So it's just like I think I saw this on the Kanye documentary, which I still have.
Genius.
Yeah, I still have to finish watching that shit.
I love that.
I
That is a classic documentary. Like for what Kuda did and saving up all that footage from the 2000s to now, that is a classic documentary.
Yeah, I know. It was just at one point I was just really getting tired of Kanye's
Right.
antics. I just needed a Kanye break, but
You see the money and the fame changed them. It
yeah,
definitely changed.
yeah. But back to this fucking album, this song right here. I love this fucking track right here. If you guys recognize that sample has been used a lot of times and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? I'm not gonna hold you. I kind of had low expectations when it came to Jermaine Dupri's rapping, but some of these songs where he was rapping on, he was definitely doing his thing. And he definitely stood toe to toe with Nas and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? The beat definitely had like an '80s feel to it, but with the 1998 twist to it. You know what I'm saying? I love how those drums was hitting and whatnot too. You know what I'm saying? So I can honestly say I actually like this song. Honestly.
Yeah. This was a great way to open an album, like your first album as an artist, coming from behind the production board. You're on the mic now, your first debut album, and you start off the album with Nas, who was the GOAT Escobar, you know what I'm saying? And when the song starts off, you got like this girl talking and she's like, telling JD don't burn no bridges. Because the same people you see coming up is the same people you see coming down. And he's telling the chick, bitch, I ain't never coming down. And then the beat drops and it's a dope ass beat. And Nas just started off and he says, spit facts, spit on wax, my whole lifetime, spit on my watch, make the ice shine, spit triflines. I love that, man. Like this is Nas, so he's not gonna come whack on, on JD's album and he definitely had a great 2 verses on here and just a great album opener, to get people used to hearing JD on the mic for once, and I love it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that shit. You know what I'm saying?
And Kanye did the beat, and it all makes sense because on the Harlem World album, remember Harlem World got signed to So Def. Kanye West produced on that album as well, and
Yeah.
Nas is on that album as well with them. So it all makes sense.
Yes, all makes sense. You
Yeah.
see how he just comes
Yeah.
together.
right?
All right. Track number two, "Money Ain't a Thing," featuring Jay-Z. Now, I've talked about this song so many times before in the past. We reviewed. Well, I don't know if you were part of that review, but I did.
No, I wasn't part of that.
Yeah, this was way before I met you, but Volume
Yeah,
Two, which when I did that original review, I was not a big fan of Volume Two as I am now
right.
and stuff like that. And honestly, this has not really been one of my favorite Jermaine Dupri collabs. I'm kind of more on the shit that they've done on American Gangster
Right.
and stuff like that. But it's the catchy song. It has some of Jay's wittiest lines and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And this song was nominated for Best Rap Performance by a duo or group. Let me see what it lost to. Oh, it lost to the Beastie Boys Intergalactic. Okay. All right. I'll give it that. I'll give it that. Can't hate on the Beasties. But yeah, I actually fuck with this song. I was actually bumping this song a lot earlier.
Yeah. I love it, man. I remember buying Volume Two the same day I bought NORE because they both came out in '98, and that's always been my favorite Jay album, and that was the album that put Jay on the map. Once the Hard Knock Life anthem came out, it was like that was it. Like everybody, if you didn't know who Jay-Z was when Reasonable Doubt dropped, or when he dropped Volume One, you definitely knew who he was when Hard Knock Life came out because everybody that was everywhere. That was like the hip hop heads knew it, the casual fans knew it. You know what I'm saying? And you couldn't escape that song. And you know that Annie sample people remember. And that whole album really put Jay-Z on the map. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And that was a classic album. So many great songs on that album and artists and this was like the bonus track on that album. You know what I'm saying? Because we first heard it on JD's album and it's a great song. I love it. I love the beat. I love the video and you know the chorus and the Ferrari or Jaguar switching both lanes, top down, screaming out money ain't a thing. I love that. You know Jay-Z's verse, he killed it. You know multis till I close up. It's all basic. I've been spending hundreds since they had small faces. Robbie Stash House, double out down to Vegas. Me and JD got a lot crazy. Where you at, haters? Fire. Five Mike Classic. That's like one of my favorite Jay Z collabs ever. You know what I'm saying? Because JD always worked. I mean, Jay Z worked great with everybody, but him and JD always had that chemistry. Like I said, like you know, he's worked with a lot of he did a lot of stuff with Timberland and the Neptunes, and I always felt like him and JD was also another great collab. So
Yes. I definitely felt like that shit too. Like
yeah,
certain artists, he definitely does his just due with.
hmm
Man.
yeah.
Hell, I might be in a minority, but some Bow Wow shit I do like from Bow Wow. Some Bow Wow shit.
Right. Yeah, because it's like JD, I think for him it's more than just them being an artist on his label. Like these are lifelong friends that he's developed over the years. That's why he's still cool. He's still friends with the Brad. He's still friends with Bow Wow. He's still cool with Jagged Edge and a lot of other people that used to be on his label. And I think he really cares about those artists and just making money off of they product. You know what I'm
Like
saying? A lot of other executives don't give a damn about their artists, which you've seen in the past, but they get celebrated. You know what I'm saying? But JD is like, yo, like when he took Usher in the studio, he had Usher move in with them. Now a lot of executives ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
He had Usher move in with them after the first album
cause
so that he can be around Usher and see how he talk to women and just study him as a person so that when he go into writing classic songs like Nice and Slow and You Make Me Wanna, they come out as a big hit record and we see the result of that.
cause people forget though. Like Usher was down with Puff,
Right.
especially when they did their first album and stuff like that too. But once that first album flopped, where was
hmm
Puff in the My Way sessions?
and
Then
even Usher said in the documentary that the first album he don't look at it, he don't really care about it because he had other people deciding what he was going to sing about
I'm
and it
sorry,
wasn't really him.
I'm
It wasn't
sorry.
really him.
I love that first album. I love Usher, but that first album, I'm sorry, that shit slaps.
Yeah, it was banging, but he felt as an artist, and I've heard this about even with Rihanna. Rihanna came out and said that when she came out with the Umbrella joint, and she was like before the Umbrella, she was singing shit that the record label wanted her to sing. It wasn't really her. They were trying to promote it like Britney Spears, and that's not her.
SOS. Yeah, I can
You know
see.
what
I
I'm
can
saying?
definitely see that because I felt like the Good Girl album from Rihanna was like a true coming out party and
Right.
stuff
You
like
look
that.
same thing with Pink. When Pink came out with
Oh
Take Me Home, the first album,
yeah.
R&B is not her thing. That was all LAV. Then she said, I gotta leave because I gotta do rock. That's my true passion. And
So what?
she,
I'm not a
that's
rock
her thing.
star.
So what? You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
sober. And she had so many classic hits because that was her true calling. It wasn't R&B.
exactly.
They tried to market her like an R&B artist.
Yeah,
You know what I
man.
mean? So it's like he said it. He said it in the documentary that he had other people deciding what he was gonna sing, and that wasn't
Christina,
him. And
Christina
when he hooked up with,
Aguilera.
huh?
Christina Aguilera too.
Right, exactly, her too. You know what I'm saying? And once he hooked up with JD and JD, living with JD for months, and when they went in the studio, JD is gonna study him and study you as a person, and then he wants he wants your true inner self to come out in the songs that he's writing for you. And you see how many hit records he gave for many different artists. You know what I'm saying? And that album's a classic.
I agree.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So he developed friendships over the years because of that. He don't look at Usher like, oh well, that's another million in my bank account.
Uh,
You know what I mean?
Shit. Come on. Yeah, man. I definitely feel you on that. Um, dope. React to the song by the way and stuff. Track number 3, Get Your Shit Right, featuring the Mad Rapper and DMX. Now, definitely love this fucking song right here and shit like that too. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? Fucking Mad Rapper. It's like you got the Bad Boy, you got the Rough Riders all on one track and shit like that. And I know Mad Rapper is not technically a bad boy artist, but he's been on a lot of bad boy shit. So I
He's
consider
part
him.
of the Hitmen.
Yes,
Derek D. Angeletti.
yes. So he's bad boy by proxy and shit.
Yeah.
Because his album did not come out on Bad Boy, which I was
Right.
surprised why it didn't come out on Bad Boy. But
Mhm.
Mace's,
Why is that? I mean, Puffy didn't trust a lot of those artists on his label. Junior
nah.
Mafia ain't come out on Bad Boy. Mary
Well,
J ain't come out on Bad Boy.
that was Biggie's decision not to have Junior Mafia on Bad Boy.
But why did Biggie say I don't want my group on Bad Boy and he was on
Because
there?
Junior Mafia was like his creation. That was like his baby compared to Puffy's and stuff like that too. So he
So
wanted to
so
make
so,
money.
so exactly. So he felt like he didn't want Puffy calling the shots.
Yeah, he wanted to make money off that label and stuff too. So
Right.
people want to say, "Oh, well, Junior Mafia's a bad boy artist." No, they're not really bad boy.
No.
They're a bad boy by proxy because they appeared on, let's say, remixes and stuff like that too. But there's much
He
bad
ain't
boy.
even Puffy ain't even have nothing to do with that album. He ain't even on the damn album.
No, it was like Special Ed. It was Daddy
Yeah.
O. It was
Mm-hmm.
all them niggas and shit. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, shout out to Special Ed and Daddy O, East Coast legends,
Yes.
by the way.
Legends. That's a Sonic.
Yeah, give them their love while they're still here, bro.
Don't
Let
wait
me.
till they die. And you start questioning
That's
everything.
what I'm saying. Yeah,
They're gonna stop. I'm telling you, it happens all the
it's
time.
gonna
They did
fucking
this shit
start,
with
man. It's gonna
Nipsey.
fucking.
They did this shit with Nipsey. You know what I'm saying? As soon as Nipsey dropped dead, everybody want to start being a Nipsey Hustle fan and start posting this shit. That's fake.
Don't even get me started on that shit.
You know, give these artists they props when they're alive, when they breathing, and they can notice it. Don't wait till they drop dead. They can't notice it from the grave.
Exactly. But yeah, man. I definitely felt like the Mad Rapper had the best for, and I can't really say that a lot about Mad Rapper and shit like that. But that nigga, wait, hold on. Actually, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yeah. He said this line when he says, "My dogs want to hang, my bitches want to bang, but it don't mean a thing when you got all this change. That's why my woman ain't dimes, not even close to nines, so like fives and sixes with scars and stitches." Like I like the Mad. I need to get my hands on that album though. That album is so
Yeah,
hard to come by.
yeah.
It's cheap. It's cheap though, but it's hard to come by.
I don't remember if I heard it or not. Even with him when he came out with that album, I'm like, come on, really, Derek, really? Yeah, like you was talking shit on Life After Death. That was cool and all, but I never really took him seriously as a rapper.
For the production alone,
For production, yes, his production is great because
yeah,
he,
for the
he did
production.
many smash hits with Bad Boy and for other artists. But as a rapper, I'm like, I'll pass on that. You know what I mean? But he had a decent verse on here. The beat, I love that rumbling bass line by JD and DMX, of course, killed it. That's why they saved him for last. And he said, see, I don't flow for the dough because money comes and goes. Give me the love for my thugs, hood rats, and hoes. Because I'm good. Because motherfucker, I'm staying in the hood. And I'm gonna rap till I stuff like Rick. Loved it. Great way to end the song off with DMX. Rest in peace, DMX, a legend. And yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite songs on here.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you about that. Hey, just to let you know, after this next song, I'm gonna go downstairs to get me some water because my throat's kind of dry and shit. But
Right.
I'll let you continue. I'll just catch on when I
Yeah.
come back.
Cool.
All right. Track number 4, Fresh, featuring Slick Rick. Now, this is an interesting song. I
Yeah.
never thought in a million years Rick and Jermaine Dupri would do some shit together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's not a bad song. It's pretty solid, but it kind of reminds me of something that could have easily been on The Art of Storytelling.
Yes. What
And
wasn't he a part of that? I want to say JD was on that album.
let me double check. Hold on. Let me
I
double
got
check.
that album too, but I ain't trying to pull it out right now though. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. I no, he was not on that
You
record.
wasn't? Okay. Because I mean, shit. Every song on all the storytelling was a feature. Slick Rick had
And
everybody
that,
on there.
that was
Nas and
the main issue with that project. That was my main
right.
issue because
But like I had an issue with it when it came out because I'm like, why is this so every song is a feature? That's not like Slick Rick to do that. But
it
now
was
when you
okay
look at it, like he was locked up, and for that time that he was locked up, a lot of those artists were blown up.
because you know what I think it is, bro. And I'm just gonna be 100% honest. I keep telling y'all niggas like, and I don't mean this in a bad way. Everyone took something from Slick Rick ever
Yes.
since the nigga went to prison.
Yeah.
Whether it's a cover, the style, the jewelry. I feel like even though the album was a bit too feature heavy, it was more like a love letter
Right.
to Slick Rick. And
Yeah.
I don't dislike I like it a bit better than Behind Bars. Don't get me
Right.
wrong. But I kind of felt like too many guest appearances. Like
It
I
was.
like the song with Nas, Outkast
Yes.
and the thing, but the song with Cannabis,
You didn't care for that one?
it's not like I didn't care for. I'm just like, what are we really doing? I have to re-listen to the album because I did say I was going to finish his discography, but I'm also trying to get some of them albums too.
Yeah.
So that's why it's taking me a bit longer to finish up those albums. But I'm gonna go in more on that when we finally talk about that. But
Yeah.
this is a solid record. It's not the best Slick Rick. I kind of felt like there's some time when Jermaine Dupri has some good, better lines. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Slick Rick, he definitely did his thing. I just felt like Jermaine Dupri definitely he did his thing on this album in terms of he kind of surprised me with some of the bars he was saying.
Yeah.
I'm so real.
But it felt like for Jay's verse, it felt like Slick Rick wrote it for him because the way he was
Yes.
performing his bars, it was like Slick Rick. Like he had like a little fake British accent when he was doing it.
Yes, and I was gonna ask you this. Thank you for reminding me. Did he have any ghostwriting? Like, do you know if he had any ghostwriting on this album or not?
Well, I mean, JD's a songwriter, so I'm like, why? I would highly doubt that he had other artists come in writing for him, and you're a songwriter yourself.
Okay, I was just asking because
You know what I'm saying?
you
I
never
never
know.
heard of nobody like ghostwriting for him because he's his own songwriter.
Yeah, because you never know. Because people. Because Del the Funky Homo Sapien. He said that he helped write for Q with the Gangsters Fairy Tale, and Q wrote for NWA,
Right.
Yo Yo, all them cats and shit like that too. So that's why I was asking.
Right. Yeah, I never heard of no ghostwriter for JD.
Oh, okay, well that's even better. That's even better.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was dope. I love the beat and and the chorus, fresh, dressed like $1,000,000, threw on the belly, sadat socks, and Slick Rick saying, "You motherfuckers can't see me, even with a patch on my eye. I'm dreaming." That's classic vintage Slick Rick right there, man. And JD, like I said, like JD, when you hear JD's verses, like he like was trying to sound like Slick Rick, like paying homage to him on the track with Slick Rick, and it's fire. I like it, And JD, he was always a fashionista. He always had the swag and the drip, and he taught us how to wear whatever the South was rocking at that time. If they were rocking shorts a certain way, that style would come up to New York City, and then we would try to rock our shorts like them or our jewelry like them or whatever, and he always had swag, so I always admired that about him.
Yeah, man. I can see what you're because I've seen some of them vintage Jermaine Dupri shits, man. He was
Yeah,
definitely killing it and shit.
crazy. Yeah,
But I'm gonna let you go on to the next one
yeah.
because my throat is drier than the motherfucker right now. So I'll be
All
right back.
right. Number 5, we get the Sweetheart featuring Mariah Carey, and it's all Mariah on lead vocals on this one. It's like a dope hip hop soul joint. You got JD with a verse on here. I believe this also was on Butterfly, if I'm not mistaken. Or if it's not on Butterfly, it's on her remix album. If I'm not, I think it's on her greatest hits album. It's on the number ones. I want to say it's on the remix album also, but I gotta check. But I know it's on the number ones because I got that one. It was definitely a hit single. There's a video for it. Check it out. Love the Mariah's vocals. One of the best singers of R&B ever. Uh, Greatest pop diva ever. The beat was fire. Bass line, 808s on it, the synthesizers, and JD has like a dope little verse. So this is like Mariah featuring JD. You know what I'm saying? But this is definitely a banger. One of my favorite tracks on here. We got track 6, Jazzy Hoes featuring Too Short, 8 Ball, Mr. Black, the Young Bloods. The Young Bloods from Atlanta. They had that hit single. Was it A Town Stomp back in the 2000s? And yeah, I was just talking about Sweetheart.
Oh, I heard it.
That was on Fantasy. That wasn't on Butterfly, right?
Nah, it wasn't.
That
Nah.
was that was on her greatest hits album, the first greatest hits, the number ones.
Yeah,
And I could have sworn it was on the remix album too.
I want to say it was on the number one. Just
Yeah,
that.
I have the number ones. It's on the number ones, but I could have sworn it was also on the remix album that she put out. I
But
might be
yeah,
wrong, but yeah, it's on the number ones though.
got you. But yeah, "Sweetheart" to me, that was an okay song. It wasn't my favorite collab that they've done, but that does not mean it's a bad thing and
What
stuff like that.
what's the sample? What's the song that he sampled? I know that song.
Give me 1 second, because I was thinking about that when I was driving back home
Yeah,
and stuff. I was just like, it's a popular '80s sample that I
it
know.
is. It's the song. It's not coming to me right now, but I heard the song before. I probably have it on vinyl or something.
Okay, I'm on whosample.com. Oh yeah, Rainy Davis, "Sweetheart." That's it.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
same title. So
yeah, a lot of hip hop was doing
mhm,
those same title samples, which they started out with Run DMC. That's how they started off with,
of
honestly.
course,
But yeah,
walk this way.
yeah. I So Jazzy Hoes is the next track. This has Too Short, 8 Ball, Mr. Black, and Young Bloods. This was a very dope track too. You know what I'm saying? I definitely love the beat to it. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I like about this album too. It definitely had its variety of East and West Coast and South
Yes,
and all that
yes.
shit. You know what I'm saying?
Because we didn't care about East even when all that was going on. There's people that didn't care about that.
Hell no.
And JD was one of those people. He didn't take sides. He was still collaborating with artists on both coasts.
Yes. Speaking of JD, I love the song, the B side with the Brat and what's his name, Biggie. That's my
Yes, that
shit.
should have been on here because Biggie's the only one that's missing from this album.
And yeah, man. I
You
mean,
know what I mean? Because you had both Nas and Jay on here. You know what I'm saying? Two heavy hitters, and I know that there was talks about Biggie doing an album with the Brad, and it never happened. But
yeah, I heard about that.
Biggie was missing off of this album. If he was still alive, he would have been on here. You know. But finish what you were saying about Jazzy Hoes.
I was just saying I fuck with the record and stuff. Like it reminds me of the Eric Sermon song he did with Too Short.
Yes.
From the
Fat
damn
Gold Chains.
Fat Go Chains.
That
Yes.
shit. That's my favorite Too Short collab. And again, it was like we didn't pump, New York radio didn't bump Too Short over here, but he did a lot of stuff with East Coast artists. You know what I'm saying? Like we talked about Volume 2. He's on a week ago. That's one of
I
the best
love
songs on that album.
Oh, come
That
on.
shit, that shit is.
Come
I'm like, yo,
on.
why Jay never did a video for that?
By the way, Eric, I sent you the link too. I
That
know
was
he
good.
likes Jermaine Dupri.
I love a week ago. That
Oh
beat is banging. I
nigga.
always wanted a video for that. He never did a video for that joint.
But you did a video for Always Be My Sunshine. Okay. All right.
I like Sunshine, but I don't like the video. I don't like the video, but
Okay, Willy Wonka looking.
you know what I mean. But you know, Too Short. He's on the album you hate, El Nino. He's on that album with them. You know what I'm saying?
I don't give a damn if Stevie Wonder was on that album and shit, yo.
You know, like you know, we showed Too Short. A lot of artists collaborated with Too Short over here, but they never fuck with him on radio though. You know what I'm saying? Even when he came over to perform, they told him that he had to do clean versions of his songs over here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like for whatever reason they ain't fuck with him. But I thought he had the best verse on this song. You know, when he starts it off and he says little fast bitch acting sarcastic, need to get our ass kicked, trying to get the cash quick. Should be my last pick. I got a real hoe. Take your ass back to class and buy your dildo. Fire. I thought he had the best verse on here. Young Bloods was dope, and 8 Ball and Mr. Black. But this was a dope song. You know, it was real jazzy. You know, and I like the beat.
Yeah, I honestly thought 8 Ball had the best verse on here too.
8 Ball was dope too. I fuck with him.
Yeah, man. Too Short and 8 Ball on that pimp shit. Man. You can't go better. You can't go wrong with that. You know.
Definitely. You.
Hey, fam, what's up?
What's up, motherfuckers? How y'all doing?
Chilling. What up?
Man, just was in hibernation mode. I seen y'all live.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot you were a fan of Jermaine Dupri and shit.
Yeah, you know JD, my boy, when he out here roasting these BBL built ass bitches, you know he my guy.
Yes. All right. So we had Don't Hate on Me. Oh my god, yo. I'm torn between this one and another track as my favorite.
Yeah.
Like this track, right? I love Crazy Bones. Like I love that fucking shit he was fucking doing and shit like that. But get up my dick, bitch, get up my like that. And then the Brat too, like her flow on this track too is what really inspired it.
She was sounding like Twista on here.
Right. Like she said, leave the wallet and the keys for me. I ain't persuaded easy, but if you spend the cheese for me, nigga, we can fuck free frequently. You study me, but another pause, by the way. You study me, but another me could never be sold and shit. You know, I love that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. This was dope, man. It had like a southern bounce to it. The 808s was knocking, the beat. I love Crazy Bone on the chorus. And Brat always lyrically, she always been great. Like, it's a shame that she don't have the discography to show for it. But she's always been like one of the best female spitters in the game, yo. And she still got it to this day. You know what I'm saying? And I would have loved to hear the rest of the Bone Thug members on here. I felt like Busy and Lazy would have killed it as well. But Crazy was great though. I definitely one of my favorites on this album.
Oh yeah, man. Crazy's probably my favorite next to Busy and shit, honestly.
Yeah. Crazy Bone, my favorite one too. They need to go on a reissue Thug Mentality 1999 on vinyl, because I don't know why that never had a vinyl release.
Right.
I still need to listen to that album and shit.
That's a dope album. Definitely.
Shit. All right. Next track, Going Home with Me, featuring Keith Sweat and ROC. I was not big. It was alright. Yeah. It was a beat. The beat to me was kind of.
It was okay. It wasn't great.
Yeah. Like
the moments. Go ahead.
The moments when he goes into the shiny suit, it's kind of like my least favorite. And I'm against that with one more other song. That's all I gotta say. But yeah,
I felt like for Keith Sweat vocals, it was lackluster. It wasn't. He wasn't like really singing like he's accustomed to. It was just like it felt like he was going through the motions on this song.
Yes, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I wanted a little bit more ad libbing and energy from Keith Sweat's vocals, and I didn't get that on this song.
Like more begging, honestly.
Yeah, he didn't do that. It was just like he did the chorus and that was it. Then it was ROC spitting, and then it was just like he was real reserved on this track for whatever reason.
Yeah, I thought I was the only one that noticed that shit too.
Yeah.
But yes. All right. Next track, You Get Dealt With, featuring Mace and Lil Kim. Believe it or not, this is actually my favorite track off this
I
album.
love this joint.
It kind of reminds me of Notorious B.I.G's Notorious Thugs. And the reason why I say that because he was going to that whole tongue twisty Midwest kind of flow and whatnot too and stuff like that. And I kind of felt like hearing Mace and Kim doing that shit too just solidified it. Now I don't know about Shaw. But I kind of felt like Mace was going after somebody with that verse. I don't know about Shaw. Because he had a line. Because I think he had a line that says, "What you looking shady for? Bitch, you ain't got my baby hoe. They peep through thick that automatically, cause this nigga roll with Puff Daddy, yo. He gonna be riding in the BENTLE." But then he had this other line. I'm trying to pull it up where he mentioned No Limit. Like he said,
what?
He said, I don't know. He said about. He said something like, "See, I'm about it. Now is you with it, bitch. I don't care how you get your dough. You get it. Now you can't claim to be a pimp and then go be committed. Just like you hit it, man. Another nigga don't hit it. I don't know, man. Because
I didn't feel like he was taking shots at nobody though. I don't
know. Something about that.
I hope he wasn't taking shots around that time because No Limit would have tied that nigga up, man, on some Master P mafioso shit.
Who was hot at that time? You had P, you had Silk. Who else was it? This is before Mystical, right? So who else was?
Mystical was on No Limit that time too. Yeah.
Did he have beef with Mystical?
I guess it's just like a warning because No Limit was like the popular label at that time, and Bad Boy. I don't know. I'm just speculating, but I know it's that Mace is the. I don't know. I just felt like Mace was he was just in rare form in that verse shit. You know what I'm saying?
This is like pre Double Up. So
Oh God,
he didn't even rhyme like this on Double Up. He didn't sound fast like this on Double Up.
He didn't. That's the thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, man.
He didn't want no problems with the tank. He didn't want no problems.
I thought it was great. I think it had like you said, it had a southern bounce and the 808s and the bass line and to have to hear Mason, Little Kim both, sound like with that fast flow, it was like, like where was this before? Because he didn't do this on Harlem World, he didn't do this on Double Up. Kim, I don't remember Kim ever using that fast flow out of anything.
Something told me maybe Biggie wrote that verse or something for Kim. I'm not trying to be funny, but if you listen to the cadence and stuff like that, it definitely had a Biggie cadence.
Yeah.
Shit.
You know what I mean? But the flow worked for that song because it was fast paced. The beat was like it had like a faster tempo. It was great. Definitely Mace killed it. Kim did her thing on it. It's definitely one of my favorites on the album.
Yeah, I agree. All right. The party continues with the Brat and Usher. This is probably the most bad boy-ish song on this album.
Yeah.
But I don't dislike this song. It's another bad boy-ish song I could care less for, but this one it definitely is promo single vibes and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they definitely they made it a moment. They say, "Oh, this is the video version." Mm-hmm. I never heard the original version of this track. I don't know if you guys have, but yeah, man. I mean, not bad, not a bad track. Just a little party happy.
It definitely was more of a teaser. I don't feel like it should have been the first single for the album.
Right.
And JD is always great at sampling, records. I don't like the cameo sample for this though.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's not. I just wanted to made it the first single for the album. Like, you know, the Brat did her thing, Usher did her thing, but I always skip over it when I play the album. I never cared for it though.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you about that. Um, Next track, All That's Got to Go, featuring the Brat and Latasha Scott. This one right here was decent. You know, I don't dislike the song and stuff like that. You know, Latasha Scott from Escape. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. I don't dislike the song. Like the Brat kind of elevated it with the lyricism. That's all I can say.
Now this song, he sampled Aretha Franklin "Jump to It." This I like the sample for this. The way he sampled it.
Oh wow! I just okay. Now
Yeah.
I hear.
You know what I'm saying? Like, is I love the bass line. Is real funky. Got that '80s retro sound to it. You know, him and the Brat going back and forth, and you know when the song starts off, you got like a woman calling his voicemail, and she's cursing, and she's like, "Don't fucking hang up on me." Don't, you know what I'm saying? And she calls him back later, and she's like, you know, pleading, "Oh JD, I'll miss you. I want you back." And I
Yeah,
thought I was
fucking having orgasms on
Gosh.
shit.
right, and he's talking about how these bitches like they want him back after he dumped them, and then the Brat
Yeah,
is like, y'all niggas are like some weak limp dick motherfuckers, and I like the back and forth with him and the Brat. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always felt like they should have did an album together, because that would have been great. You know what I mean? And like I loved like he sampled the Jump to It song for this one. This one I like. This was dope.
Jump, jump, jump to it. I love that track.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Little trivia, Luther Vandross actually produced that track
Yes.
too.
Rest in
So
peace, Luther, man. I think he did that whole album, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
he did that whole album.
Yeah.
yep,
He did the whole album.
That's what's up, man.
yeah. Luther was a bad man on the production, man. I'm tell you.
Definitely.
All right. Now Protectors of 1472, Primo,
Mm,
Snoop Dogg,
yes.
Warren G, OC.
This was crazy.
Oh my God. Cause I thought my slow ass thought that Dupree did almost all the beats on here. I'm just like, did Dupree take some shit from Primo?
Mm,
And I had to look up the credits. Like, yeah, Primo did some shit for this one.
yep.
And boy, that beat by Primo got to be one of his best I've heard.
Those
Yeah, that,
horns on that.
yes.
Fire.
And Snoop Dogg. This is why I always say Snoop and Primo should have done an album, because even on the Pay the Cost to Be the Boss,
Mm-hmm.
he
Yes.
had some heat too, because I feel like Snoop was in rare form
Yes.
on the fucking track. He said some
That,
shit like, "My heroin whip clip on hip, now trip on this. A bunch of outlaws try to take my town, set up shop, run me out, and cut me down. And how that sound when I'm the illest superhero." I'm just like, God damn, Snoop.
mhm.
Shit. See, where is this Snoop at, yo? Where is
That's
this?
what
See,
I'm
that's
saying.
why that chronic be helping him. That weed was helping him around that time, you know.
For real. But yeah, man, this was a hot joint right here. Warren G also did his thing too.
Yes. This was though. This was a surprise. I didn't. I looked at him like Primo's doing some shit for JD. You know what I'm saying? I never would have thought. You know, but that just go to show you like how well respected this man is in the industry. Like the most underground cat or the most mainstream cat fuck with JD, and that's just the type of respect that he had from everybody. And when you could have Primo in this is like what Moment of Truth era, and he does a beat for 1472. I'm like, yo, this, and it was fire. You know what I'm saying? Like the beat and the bass line, the horns, the signature scratching from Primo, and I love Snoop's verse, and he incorporated the Justice League characters in his verse. You noticed that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what he did on Pay the Cost to Be the Boss when they did that Batman and Robin joint with him and Rage.
Yes.
And
Oh
Primo
my,
did that too. That's one of the best songs on that album.
that and One and Only. Oh my.
Yes.
Woo!
That was a great album from Snoop. I love that album. You know what I'm saying? And with this, like he said, he's like referencing Aquaman. He said, "I'm not Aquaman, but Aqua Boogie. I'm sort of like a monster chasing cookies. I'm like the Wonder Twins. My style activates the minute niggas get in it and try to play it." I loved his verse. He had the best verse to me. Warren G did his thing, and ROC, and I would have loved to hear Nate Dogg on the chorus. I think Nate Dogg was missing too. But this is a bang. I love this track, and to have down south artists like Jermaine Dupri collaborate with Primo, that was great, man. It's definitely a classic record.
Yeah, it's a classic record indeed and shit. You know what I'm saying? Um, and honestly, I hate to say it, this might be my last favorite track off this album because "Lay You Down" with Trina and Tamara. I did not like that song.
Of course.
Mm, it was okay. I felt like it was more for the club. It was more like a like one of them booty, the club joint.
Yeah, the hoochie mamas and shit.
Yeah, it was more for like the strip club joint. You know, you had Trina on there. You know, you had Tamara sing. I don't know who Tamara is. She's singing. You know, and you had like in the beginning of the song, like this female interviewer, and she's like interviewing JD through like the album or certain songs, and you know she's he's explaining to her about like the Don Chi moniker and you know and how it's different from his true self, and you know it was cool, but I looked at it like it was more like a drink for the strip club.
Yeah, I definitely felt like that shit
Yeah,
too. Like some shit like you would definitely they're trying to get in that Foxy Brown,
yeah,
Kim kind of ordeal and
mhm,
shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
right.
All right, and the last track, "Through the Hard Way." Now, this had Mr. Black and RC. I love the beat by DJ Quick and stuff like that. I felt like that was a dope beat.
Yes, yeah, quick on here, yeah.
Yeah, this is not a bad song, but I kind of felt like the beat kind of overshadowed it. Honestly.
Yes, I heard that Trina and Tamara or Jesse Powell's sisters.
Yeah, yeah, that's who they are.
I did
Yeah,
hear that. Wasn't they a part of something for the people? That group?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, because that came out. I heard that last week, and I didn't even know that. I mean, I remember the group something for the people, but I didn't know that was his sisters or whatever.
I just knew about that when he died. Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, the quick
Okay.
joint. You had quick producer joint from him, and it's perfect because Quick is always on that player shit, and you gave him a G Funk track, and I loved it. And you had who was on this? Mr. Black was on this joint,
Yeah.
and ROC, and it was a great. This joint could have been on one of Quick's albums, like Rhythmalism or you know Balance and Options. It was definitely a dope track by Quick.
Yeah, definitely, man. Quick was at his bag at that time too.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. And overall, this is actually a very dope album in my opinion and stuff like that. Um, I definitely feel like this album to me probably his best album to date and stuff like that too. I would probably call this an arguable classic. Keyword arguable classic. You know, I'm not gonna get mad if people call it a classic and shit like that. Even though there was like two or maybe three songs I could have done without and
Right.
stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But I felt like this is the perfect unification of a lot of the hip hop at that time too, because the late '90s was definitely the era of the producer hip hop albums and stuff like that, like Pete Rock's Soul Survivor,
Yeah.
Puffy's No Way Out, and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Definitely a very dope album. I would give this a 4 out of 5.
I definitely think it's a great album, and it's an album that had both East, West, Midwest, Southern artists, R&B, rap artists on there, and you know, it was great production, and I like the fact that JD stepped out and behind the production board, and he got on the mic with some of the best artists of our, genre with Jay-Z and Nas, and having a Crazy Bone on it, and having a DJ Quick producer join and Primo, and he just went to show you that he was well respected by the whole industry, and people wanted to work with him, and that's what he did. And we didn't have that with No Way Out is a classic, but we didn't have that. Like Puffy wasn't running to get Southern artists on his album or West Coast artists on his album. You know what I'm saying? And JD was like, yo, I'm gonna work with some of the best artists that Mariah's on this album. She probably the biggest name on this album, and he had big hits off of this album, and to me, it's a classic. I think, when people mention producer rapper albums and they mention No Way Out or they might mention Swiss Beats, they forget about this album. I think this album is a classic. There's no bad songs on here. Turn It Out and Money in a Thing, Get Your Shit Right, You Get Dealt With, Sweetheart, all classic records. I definitely give it 5 mics.
Yes, man. Definitely a very dope album indeed. Yes, yes. Yo, Eric, you have any thoughts about this album?
ain't never listened to the album. And speaking of that, I just ordered the CD and cassette. And this just goes to show you that a guy like Jermaine Dupri, he's so well respected from coast to coast that he can get anybody and everybody on the album, and it can be a certified classic. He don't have to back snake nobody. He don't have to take nobody money. He just want to get people together to make a good album. So, I respect him and the So Def label for actually, giving artists a chance and giving them the creativity to actually be themselves instead of just being the same old shit on a lamestream, label and stuff.
Right.
Or better yet, he didn't have to bully anybody out of a tribute song they were originally doing for his moms and shit. But I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that.
Right.
But all right, y'all. I'm actually gonna end off this video right here because I gotta do some shit tonight. By the way, Try, did you still want to do that? You know what?
Let's postpone that to like the weekend or something.
Okay, cool.
You know what I mean?
No doubt. All right. I know Saturday I want to talk about the new Mayhem Loren album with Derringer.
Oh yes, Black Vladimir.
Yeah,
classic.
I
ain't supposed to say that, right?
I mean, it's cool.
It's a great album.
I ain't hear nothing. I don't know what y'all talking about. My ears
definitely one of the best,
so
man. Mayhem Loren, he's a MC from Queens. He's done a lot of stuff with Action Bronson. He's also if you saw Fuck That's Delicious, the Action Bronson like a foodie show, he was on that with him, and I know he's doing a lot of like cooking videos on his YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, that boy Action Bronson, that's Ghostface Jr. right there. He sounds just like Ghostface.
And he have a new album out called Black Vladimir, and Derringer from Griselda produced the whole thing. It's phenomenal. I love it. One of the best albums already this year.
Okay,
yeah, I'm trying to maybe do that probably like the early afternoon before I go to work. But I'm gonna let you know tomorrow.
Cool. A Saturday afternoon review. Get here early.
Oh shit!
We were here last Saturday afternoon. We were talking about the Crusaders.
Right. Probably
yeah. That was the jazz album, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
That's
probably 1 p.m. the latest. But I'm gonna let you know tomorrow.
Cool.
Or later on today, honestly.
All right.
Okay, this was I gotta go back and I've been bumping this Janelle Broken Dirty Computer album. That shit fire as fuck.
Whose album?
Janelle Monáe.
I never heard that. I gotta check that out.
Yeah, that came out in 2018.
Yeah, I remember.
Believe it or not, I actually never heard any of her albums, honestly.
She had one album. I think the first album was on Bad Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that joint.
Then she left Bad Boy, of course.
Smart.
This is a good thing.
She's smart.
She's real smart. Yeah. Get away, Machine Gun Kelly. You too talented. Get away from this nigga Diddy, man.
Right. Knee-boy wants to know, are we doing instructions?
Are you donating for instructions?
You gotta donate to the family, man. You gotta put a contribution to the Church of Reg.
Exactly.
That album is out of print also.
Like I'm not playing around with y'all. Y'all asked me if y'all want to ask. Y'all asked me if I want to do shit. Y'all gotta start putting up some money and shit like that. Cause some of them
y'all niggas gonna have to get down to lay down.
Exactly, man. Talking about you gonna do instructions, man. Nigga, you gonna pay me shit, man.
Pay me.
But I got a text try to schedule for next week anyway. So yeah. Cause I already let him know we're gonna do 2 albums next week anyway. So
only 2.
Not just only 2, but I know one of them is a double review. That's all I want to say. And I mentioned this when we did the Black Street review and stuff like that. But yeah, man, y'all like if y'all want to request when y'all saw Mike do the donations, so like donate and shit.
But he suggested a good album. That jazz album was good.
It was good. Yeah, it was good.
He didn't just say, "Oh, well, I want you to review this," and that's it. Like it was a good album.
Who was that? Who was the motherfucker that said they wanted me to do top 50 2B movies?
That was Christian. That was like that. We're not doing that.
No.
Fuck no.
I seen that shit with that stupid ass African generic Mortal Kombat videos these niggas was talking about. I'm like, y'all niggas been smoking some.
Yeah. I'm not sitting through 50 bad movies on Tubi. Fuck that.
Hell no.
Ain't nobody going through that eyesore.
The Godfather review was last night. You missed it. We did part 2.
Oh shit! Damn, I ain't even get no notification.
Yeah, that was on Mike's channel.
Okay, I'll be there for part 3 because I do want to laugh and shit.
Yeah, you got to subscribe to Mike's channel, Mike's movie rants. What do you call it? Mike's
Now I'm
Corner.
subscribed to him. I just didn't get no notification. I don't know what
No,
the hell's
I
going
mean
on.
for Boy. Like if you're not subscribed
Oh,
to
okay.
Yeah, man.
Mike's what does he call it? Mike's movie and rants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike's reviews and rants. Subscribe to that. And he's a great person, and he's a Blu-ray 4K collector. He has a shit ton of 4Ks and Blu-rays. You know.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Dope ass review, dope ass peoples
Yeah.
and shit like
Yeah,
that.
that was good. That was good.
But all right, y'all, I'm gonna definitely see y'all this weekend. Appreciate this try, Eric. Thank you for stopping by and stuff like
All
that.
right.
I'm about to go. I'm about to watch Atlanta and get high for the night. So
Cool.
peace.
Peace, Eric.
Peace out. All right, y'all.
Later.